Oh, 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 oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, oh, I just had the horriblest, worst, oh, it was awful. This dream. Oh my God. I was in this room and there were all these people. It was red and crowded, and there were laser lights, and oh my God, and suddenly there was smoke and lights, and in came this spaceship. God, it landed, and out of the spaceship there came 5 men and this woman, and one of the women one of the men had a sledgehammer, and I guess the spaceship couldn't turn off, and so he picked up the sledgehammer and hit it on the side of the spaceship, and oh, God, it was, and I guess the motor turned off, and then oh, it was so strange. I guess they had to get out of the spaceship because the windows wouldn't open. So one guy picked up this ball bearing and smashed the window, and then he smashed the back window, I guess so they could have ventilation in both. God, it was so awful. And this shiny silver thing, God, it was so bizarre. And my first reaction was, Tesla made an Edsel. And oh my God. Oh. And then things settled down. And it turned out to be Tesla's unveiling of the Cybertruck. And as all you know, you've all had very mixed emotions about this thing, as did I. My first reaction was, is this a joke? Is it real? And finally I realized, yeah, this thing's real. And I had to look at it, and I watched the videos of people getting in and out of it, and I thought, well, is this as bad as we think? And I go, well, it actually looks kind of cool. When it started coming in the driveway and it had all of its headlights on and the overhead lights, I'm going, wow, this thing really, I mean, it's not at all what I expected. And I know it's not at all what any of us expected. But given the time and started thinking about it, and Elon got up on stage and started showing the specs, and I had to go back and look at everything, and suddenly this thing started looking better and better. Not, because of the design, but because this truck actually is probably one of the most amazing trucks to come out in close to 100 years. Turns out that this truck was really, really well thought out. And, it took me some time to understand that, to get beyond just the physical appearance of it. And appearances aren't everything. This thing may have been an ugly duckling to start with, but I'll tell you what, it's not an ugly duckling now. I sat there and I started looking at all the specs on this thing. Of course, the power is phenomenal, but as a general contractor with over 50 years experience, I'm sitting there looking at this truck and going, okay, let me just look at this thing. It came out, and guy came out on a damn ATV, drops the tailgate, and pulls a ramp out of the tailgate. I mean, you have no idea how cool that is. I mean, I've sit there and I've watched all these new trucks get taller and taller, farther off the ground. And hey, I'm getting old. I don't want to lift shit that high. This truck it's amazing. Anyway, let's get down to some of the features on the thing. The tailgate drops down. The truck actually hydraulically lowers to aid in lifting things in and out of the truck, which, I mean, that should have happened years ago. But instead, people kept jacking their trucks up, getting higher and higher, and making it harder and harder to get your tools and equipment in and out of your truck. You know, from a safety standpoint, that is just bad. I mean, people throw their backs out trying to lift equipment in and out of trucks. That ramp was brilliant. The fact that you can lower it down on top of that is brilliant. Then they open the truck up, and you got 6 seats, enough to carry an entire framing crew. I was just blown away. I'm going, this truck's looking better and better. I could get my entire crew in this truck, all of our tools on the back, and with added lumber racks, I could carry lumber on top of that. It's got a 3,500 pound carrying capacity. Even the cheapest of the 3 trucks had a 7,000 pound towing capacity on top of that, so you can haul trailer, you know, maybe not the best trailer, but you can haul a fair sized trailer with that. Then it's got a 120 and a 210 volt outlet in the back of the truck, so you can actually run power tools off that, or as most of the tools are now, most of them are cordless, so you can charge up your power tools off the truck. It's got a built-in compressor, which is just phenomenal, although we're in the transition of moving away from needing compressors. A lot of your nailers now are becoming cordless too. The only thing I would have loved to have seen would have been toolboxes on the outside of the bed liner, sidewalls, so that you could actually access tools from the outside of the truck without having to get into the bed. Let's see. Anyway, the truck jacks up to a 16-inch clearance, so if you need to get into a job site that's tough to get at, you can jack it up and get there. And believe me, I've had job sites where four-wheel drive and lift was critical. So on top of that, then let's get down to the truck. Those guys got out, pulled a sledgehammer out, and beat the side of that truck. And that alone is absolutely incredible. Because if you're in construction, you're on job sites, lumber falls over, shit happens, and you know, the trucks, most real working men's trucks are beat up. You know, these guys that drive around on the fancy trucks with their company name on the side, those are paper contractors. They're not real construction men. Any real contractor that actually does his work, you look at his truck, it's going to be beat up. You know, he backhoes back into him accidentally, lumber falls on him, shit happens. Now, that said, this thing comes with no paint job, which is way cool. Because not only can you not dent and ding the truck, but you don't have to worry about scratching or chipping your paint. So, for those people that are going, well, no paint job, and oh God, this is terrible. No, it's not, man. This was built as a work truck. This is everything that I dreamed of for years. This is a totally utilitarian truck. The design was designed to fabricate this truck with minimal effort. It's, you know, it's beautiful. It's so utilitarian. And I was reading people's responses on some of these websites, and they're going, oh yeah, it's not practical, it's not, oh, it's ugly, it's, oh man, you know what, these people have no idea what they're talking about. This truck is fantastic. You know, that with a few little minor mods to it, man, you've got a great work truck for construction. You know, for other fields I can't say, but one guy did comment back to me. he's an HVAC contractor, and he's going, man, I'm thinking of phasing out my fleet and going to all of these. So I think you're going to find that there's going to be a lot of fleets that are going to be run with this Tesla truck. And then you get into the bottom line. This truck, according to Elon, operates at 20% less per month than an ICE truck. Now, and the initial costs are unbelievable. There was no way I expected that truck to be that cheap. Elon said it'd be just under $50,000. Well, at $39,900, that is an unbelievable deal, especially when you're not going to have to pay for gas. Your maintenance time is, well, very little. I mean, you're going to have no downtime. You don't have to stop and have the damn trucks oil changed, lubed. Well, you're probably still going to have grease done at periodically times, but that doesn't take much time. I do all my own oil changes and maintenance on my vehicles, and it takes a lot of time. It usually burns up a day just maintaining one vehicle. So that's downtime that you don't have to deal with. And not paying for gas. I mean, electric is definitely cheaper than gas, even here in Hawaii, where our gas prices are outrageous. So, but we put in a lot of alternate energies, and I have photovoltaic on my houses. So, you know, virtually it's free for me to run. So it becomes a no-brainer that you want this truck. The cost savings alone is making you so much money. So to Elon and his design crew, kudos, man. You guys nailed this one to the wall. And as far as the looks go, I can get used to looks, man. But I can't get used to paying through the nose and watching the planet die before my eyes. So this thing is amazing. And for the rest of you out there that have a problem with the looks, get over it. You know, I mean, how many times have you sat down and admired a UPS or a FedEx truck? I mean, they're butt ugly too, you know, but they're out there because they work, they're utilitarian, they're practical, and that's what business is mostly about. And if you think this truck isn't going to sell, you've got another thing coming. I mean, I think within 48 hours that they had already taken 200,000 orders, and you guys are out there running around, oh no, this is just the groovy doobies that want to put their surfboard in it and they want to attract a lot of attention. No, it's not. It's people that actually have the sense to see the value in the truck. So Ford, this is definitely a shot over the bow. You can't go on making trucks the way you make them. You're going to have to change. And even your EV truck, you were showing off that monster what was it, a 350 or 250 that was towing the trains. You got to get rid of the frame like you do it. You're going to have to rethink the way you do things, because the planet cannot sustain the overconsumption of resources. The Tesla truck is absolute minimalist. It's beautiful. You know, you look at the Ford Model T when it came out, people were complaining, oh God, that thing's ugly, it's never going to replace the horse. Well, guess what? 100 years later, it's the dominant design, and it's still basically the same shape. So for those of you out there that continue to harp on this thing, all I can say is just wait and see. You are going to be so amazed. And on that note, I'm going to let everybody go. Hope you enjoyed this video, and do understand this is the most affordable option on the road now. And I am blown away. I mean, I was blown away by the appearance of it. It definitely was a shock. I was not a fanboy of it, and I'm still not 100% a fanboy of the design, but I am a real fanboy of its utilitarian abilities. So on that note, we'll talk to you guys later. Aloha.